Since the 1980s, a chilling urban legend has swept through Nigerian boarding schools, striking fear into the hearts of students and staff alike. The story of Madam Koi Koi, a vengeful ghost with a love for young children and a thirst for justice, is one that has stood the test of time. Her legend is built on whispers, late-night encounters, and a sound so distinct it has become synonymous with terror. The clack of pointy high-heeled shoes echoing through darkened school halls. The origins of Madam Koi Koi are as mysterious as the ghost herself. Some say she was a beautiful, young female teacher adored by her students. She was known for her elegance, her nurturing nature, and her impeccable fashion sense, which often included a pair of sharp, high-heeled shoes which earned her the name. Her death, however, remains shrouded in speculation. One version of the tale suggests she was brutally raped and murdered by a male colleague after rejecting his advances. Another claims she died in a car accident just outside the school premises, her heels making a haunting last impression on the asphalt as she stumbled for help. Another lesser-known origin story hints that Madam Koi Koi may have been a strict headmistress who was mercilessly beaten to death by rebellious students she had punished. According to this version, her spirit vowed to haunt boarding schools forever, ensuring no student escaped her watchful eyes. There is also a whispered theory that she was a bride-to-be who died in a fit of rage after her fiancé left her at the altar. Her anger and broken heart tethered her to the world, and she sought the company of innocent students to fill the void of love she had lost. Other accounts, however, paint her as a mysterious entity that was never human. Instead, she is said to be a lonely spirit drawn to the presence of young students, feeding off their energy and fear. Regardless of the truth, one detail remains consistent. Madam Koi Koi's bond with her students transcends death. Madam Koi Koi's presence is most felt in the dead of night. The sound of her high heels, the koi koi that earned her the name, echoes ominously through school halls, hostels, and abandoned classrooms. It is said that anyone who encounters her will not live to tell the tale. In 1995, students at a boarding school in Lagos were studying late into the night during a compulsory prep session. Suddenly, the eerie sound of heels echoed from the far end of the hallway. At first, students dismissed it as a teacher on patrol, but as the sound grew louder and closer, panic set in. Desks overturned as students fled the classroom, creating a stampede that left several injured. The next morning, a red heel was allegedly found in the middle of the hallway, though no teacher had claimed it. In 2001, a student at a boarding school in Enugu skipped evening prayers to sneak off to the bathroom. While washing her face, she heard the faint sound of heels approaching. Frozen in fear, she glanced at the mirror and saw a shadowy figure in red standing behind her. The girl screamed and bolted out, but she was never the same after that night. Rumors spread that she had seen Madam Koi Koi and was marked. In a boarding school in Abuja, a group of boys dared each other to stay in the locker room after lights out. As they laughed and told ghost stories, the unmistakable sound of heels began to resonate. The laughter stopped. One by one, the boys claimed to feel a cold hand brush against them. They ran out, leaving behind their belongings. By morning, their items were found neatly stacked, with a single red shoe placed on top. In 1987, a teacher at a boarding school in Ibadan reported staying late to grade papers when she heard the sound of heels outside her classroom. Thinking it was a colleague, she called out, but no one answered. Moments later, the door creaked open, and a red-clad figure appeared, staring at her with empty eyes. The teacher fainted, and when she awoke, she found herself outside the building with her graded papers scattered around her. In 1998, a group of girls at a boarding school in Kaduna organized a midnight feast in their dormitory. As they giggled and shared snacks, the sound of heels began approaching their room. Thinking it was the matron, they quickly hid their food and pretended to sleep. The door opened, and a cold breeze swept through the room. When they peeked out, they saw a woman's silhouette in red, standing still. The figure whispered, "Enjoy your last meal," before vanishing. The girls were so traumatized that 2 of them transferred schools shortly after. Stories abound of students who encountered Madame Koi Koi after dodging school activities. A boy who skipped evening roll call to meet his friends outside claimed to hear heels following him all the way to the school gate. When he turned around, there was no one there, only a faint whisper saying, "You cannot hide." He returned to the hostel pale and shaken, swearing never to disobey again. Another tale tells of a girl who snuck out to meet a boyfriend near the school's fence. As they whispered sweet nothings, the sound of heels began to echo. Thinking it was a patrolling teacher, the boy jumped over the fence and ran, leaving the girl behind. She claimed she saw the red figure slowly approaching her, whispering her name. She screamed and passed out, waking up the next morning with scratches on her arms and no memory of how she got back to the hostel. Many people also believe wildly that Madame Koi Koi does not appear to anyone or make physical contact. They say the koi koi sounds would only be heard clacking along the school hallways and other premises at very late hours of the night, when it is very unlikely that no teachers or staff would still be in school. Students would spend agonizing long hours of the night tucked under their sheets in fear and panic, praying for the day to break as the koi koi heels patrol incessantly. There are stories of dormitory prefects or students who are brave enough to investigate the hallways, but always find no one but the clacking pausing. But as soon as they return inside their dormitories, the clacking returns. Despite countless tales, Madame Koi Koi is widely regarded as an urban legend, a story used to instill discipline and keep students in line. Her legend is passed down from one generation of students to the next, with each school adding its own twist. Yet, even as rationality dismisses her as a figment of collective imagination, the fear she inspires is real. Madame Koi Koi's story has left an indelible mark on Nigerian boarding schools. The mere mention of her name can send shivers down a student's spine. Whether she is a vengeful spirit, a misunderstood ghost, or a cautionary tale, Madame Koi Koi remains a symbol of mystery and fear. So, the next time you find yourself in the quiet halls of a boarding school late at night, listen closely. If you hear the unmistakable koi koi of high heels, remember, she's watching. And if you're unlucky enough to meet her, pray you live to tell the tale.